What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shawn. I'm a driver with Roadstill Transport and a trainer. And I put out videos every day trying to teach you something the CDL school won't teach you. In today's video, we're going to talk about pre-trips and post-trips. I ain't going into length about how to do one, but we're talking about the rules. How long are you required to do a pre-trip? And if you're required to do one at all, let's get into it. Tip for you guys: when you're out here driving, put your blinker on and get over. That's like some real ground beef right here, boy. Not the kind you get at Walmart. Dairy pork link sausage. This is sausage, homemade sausage.
That is from FMCSA directly.
Okay, next question is, I know the answer, but people ask me these questions, so I'm going to ask anyway. I know it's very important to do pre-trips. I preach that daily anyway on all of my classes. But the question people are asking me, is there a limit to how long that pre-trip is?
No.
So they decide to do a bad pre-trip, but it's 5 minutes.
It should take you no less than 15 minutes.
That's what I say. But if somebody locked,
15 to 30 minutes for a pre-trip. If you're doing less than the 15 minutes, you ain't doing a pre-trip.
Correct. That's what I say. But the question is it a violation if you look at their log and they only had an 8-minute pre-trip? It's not, as long as they have. All right, so let's get into it. Pre-trip. Are we required to do a pre-trip, and how long are we required? Well, you just heard what the officers in Kentucky said. It's not a requirement of how long you do the pre-trip, but they can tell if you've done a good one or not. So if you're doing it less than 15 minutes, signs are going to say that you're not being a very safe driver. You're not really going. Now, listen, I get out here every day. I get it. There's some days that I don't do a 30, 40-minute pre-trip, but that don't mean that I shouldn't have either. So think about that for a minute. You get out there and you get in an accident, and they go back and they look at your logs, and you're doing 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Your company could get sued. That's what these lawyers are trained to do, to look and say, well, how could he have done a good pre-trip? He's only been logging 3 or 4 minutes a day. So technically, are you breaking the law by doing one less than 15 minutes? No. It's a myth that you got to do it for 15 minutes. You're supposed to log it as you do it. Now, if it takes you 40 minutes and you log it as 15 minutes, well, you're falsifying logs still, and can be guilty of a felony for falsifying logs. So you're supposed to log it as you do it. So always, that's what, if it takes me 8 minutes, it's 8 minutes. If it takes me 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. But if a DOT officer pulls you over and they do an inspection, and it ain't taking you but 3 or 4 minutes, they know that you didn't really good do a pre-trip, and they're going to scrutinize you a lot harder. They look at your log, you've been doing 30, 40 minutes a day, good deal. They do 34 minutes, then all of a sudden they go up under the trailer, and then they find a bunch of things wrong with it. Then they're going to know you were lying too. There's no way you did a 40-minute pre-trip and all this stuff's wrong. So make sure you're doing a good pre-trip. It's required by FMCSA to make sure. Let's just read what it says. 49 CFR 3927 says that you're supposed to be satisfied that the certain parts that are listed in the regulations are in good and working order. So technically, you're not even required to do a pre-trip if you want to get down to the legality of it. You just got to be satisfied. You may be working on the days the person that drove it before or inspections, but I'm going to do a pre-trip every time before I get in that truck, because you're going to be risking somebody's life. Now, the next question is, are you required to do a post-trip? Well, 39.6.11 says you must prepare a written report listing any defects, but if there are no defects, none is required. So post-trips, you're not legally allowed or required to do a post-trip, but you are legally required to write a written report if there's any defects. So if there is no defects, then you ain't got to do one. But how do you know without doing a post-trip? So you see how it gets a little itchy there. So anyway, somebody asked me that question, so I hope that answered you. Do you have to do a pre-trip? You need to. How long do you got to do it? Do it right. Go through it. They're going to be looking for more than 15 minutes. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button. You're Trucking Life with Shawn. Get it.